In the hushed stillness of dawn, Obudu kingdom awakens to a heavy sorrow. News spreads like wildfire. The beloved king has died. The once vibrant market now dons muted hues, with villagers exchanging somber glances. The air carries the weight of grief as the rhythmic beat of drums, once a symbol of celebration, now echoes a mournful cadence, signaling the beginning of a new chapter in the kingdom's history. In the dimly lit chamber of elders, the air heavy with the scent of aged wood and worn leather, murmurs arose like the soft rustling of leaves in the wind. The chief elder, his eyes clouded with the shadows of memory, leaned in to share the ancient tale with the others. Do you all recall Ada's youthful indiscretion, that ill-fated attempt on the king's life? Nods of acknowledgement rippled through the assembly. The room echoed with the murmurings of those haunted by the specter of Ada's failed teenage conspiracy. The second elder, a guardian of tradition, voiced the unspoken concern. A turbulent past, a dagger poised against the throne. Can we entrust the kingdom to one who once sought to dismantle it? As the elders deliberated, their gazes shifted to the second son, Emeka, a warrior of formidable strength and the second true-born son of the late King Jaga. A third elder, his expression etched with contemplation, raised the unspoken thoughts about Emeka. Strength in battle, yes, but does he carry the wisdom and diplomacy the throne demands? Yes indeed. Silent nods of agreement followed. Ekwenji, the wisest elder among them, stroked his grizzled beard in solemn contemplation. We stand at the crossroads, he intoned, his voice carrying the weight of the kingdom's destiny. Ada's inheritance against Emeka's fitness to rule. The tapestry of our people's fate unravels before us, and today, in this hallowed chamber, we must weave the threads of a new chapter for our kingdom. Ada squared her shoulders, confronting Emeka in the shadow of the ancestral baobab tree. The air between them crackled with unspoken tension, as the weight of their family's legacy hung heavy in the humid breeze. Emeka, she began, her voice steady, we cannot ignore the turmoil that simmers beneath the surface. I know you harbor doubts about my past. I was young and stupid, and was forgiven by our late father himself. The kingdom's future cannot be built on the foundations of betrayal. As the first child, it is my right to rule. Emeka, clad in the garments of a seasoned warrior, met her gaze with a furrowed brow. Ada, my concerns extend beyond your history. Chike, our brother, has embraced a darkness in his pursuit of victory. His methods on the battlefield have become increasingly barbaric. For years he has been away fighting the enemies of our kingdom. I am afraid that he has lost his value for human life. The Ogios were a peaceful tribe before he declared them as our enemies and annihilated them. Our late father just let it happen. Ada's eyes narrowed, her mind swiftly recalibrating her approach. Emeka, she retorted, her tone measured. While Chike's actions concern me, I find it curious that you suddenly profess worry for the kingdom's honor. Is it genuine concern, or perhaps a convenient distraction from your own ambitions? Emeka's gaze hardened, a flicker of frustration crossing his face. Ada, this is not about me. Chike's brutality jeopardizes everything we stand for. The throne is at risk, and you cannot turn a blind eye to the chaos he sows. Ada's lips curled into a sardonic smile. The throne, she scoffed, the same throne you covet. Be warned, Emeka, you try to take what is yours, the gods will take tenfold. And I will be their willing vessel. Emeka's jaw clenched, the familial bond strained by the political currents between them. This is not a game, Ada. The kingdom needs stability, not the unchecked ambition that drove you to attempt poisoning your own father and blinds you to the dangers within our own ranks. As the evening shadows deepened around them, the siblings stood locked in a battle of words, their individual visions for the kingdom colliding like opposing storm fronts. In a distant realm, Chike and his uncle, a cunning strategist hardened by the brutality of war, received news of the village's plight. Their eyes glinted with opportunistic greed as the tales of chaos and uncertainty reached their ears. Chike's uncle, a master manipulator, wasted no time in stoking the fires of ambition within his nephew. He urged with a sinister grin, the throne beckons, a golden opportunity amidst the kingdom's misfortune. Your years on the battlefield have taught you that power, order, and respect are not granted but taken by force. Chike, his heart already entwined with avarice, eagerly embraced his uncle's counsel. Uncle, the The time for subjugation is ripe. A kingdom in disarray is a kingdom ripe for conquest. Violence is the currency of power, and I am ready to claim the throne and revel in the spoils that await. In that distant land, their alliance was forged in the crucible of shared ambition and insatiable greed. The winds carried the whispers of a sinister pact, as Chike and his uncle plotted a reign that would be remembered for its bloodthirsty conquests and unbridled avarice. The kingdom, unknowingly, teetered on the precipice of a dark era, where the thirst for power eclipsed any semblance of compassion or honor. In the hushed shadows of the sacred grove, the chief priest's son, burdened with the weight of a destiny only glimpsed in the whispers of the spirits, stood alone. The ancient trees bore witness as he raised the ceremonial dagger, its glint reflecting the moon's pale light. With a resolute breath, the son plunged the dagger into the heart of his father, the chief priest, who, already paralyzed, fell to the ground. The air thickened with an otherworldly energy, a silent acknowledgement from the spirits that observed the intimate communion between blood and destiny. As the life force left the chief priest, the son felt a surge of power enveloping him, a whispering promise echoing in the rustling leaves. "You are the chosen one," a spectral voice intoned, "the next king, destined to rule both man and spirit. Embrace the duality of your reign." The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows over the ancient ruins that lay shrouded in the fading light. Obina, the local champion, stood before the weathered entrance of the mysterious ruins on the outskirts of the village. Undeterred by the eerie silence, Obina approached the first set of weathered symbols etched into the stones. With a furrowed brow, he traced the intricate lines, his fingers moving with a dancer's precision. As he deciphered the first riddle, a low hum emanated from the stones, as if acknowledging his understanding. Undeterred, Obina pressed on, navigating the ruins like a scholar in pursuit of ancient knowledge. The moon cast an ethereal glow, illuminating the enigmatic symbols that adorned the walls. Finally, after hours of contemplation and unwavering determination, Obina stood before a colossal door, adorned with symbols that seemed to dance in the moonlight. With a knowing gaze, he deciphered the final riddle, unlocking the door to a chamber brimming with old treasures, relics, artifacts, and whispers of a civilization lost to time. The chamber echoed with the quiet jubilation of discovery as Obina, the kingdom's most agile wrestler, gazed upon the treasures that lay within, a testament to his courage, intellect, and the enduring spirit of adventure that had driven him to unravel the mysteries of the ancient ruins. Beneath the towering canopy of ancient trees, the village gathered to bid farewell to their departed king. Wails of sorrow and the echo of grieving hearts filled the air as the late king's body was laid to rest. The somber procession was interrupted by a messenger, breathless and wide-eyed, bearing news that shook the very foundation of the mourning village. Chike had declared himself king. The gasps of shock and disbelief pierced the air, mingling with the cries of mourning. Amidst the lingering echoes of sorrow, Emeka, the late king's second son, recognized the urgency of the situation. With resolve etched across his face, he called for an emergency meeting of the village elders. Under the shade of the revered baobab tree, the elders gathered, their expressions a mix of grief and apprehension for the kingdom's fate. The elders, acknowledging Emeka's lineage and leadership qualities, unanimously agreed to endorse him as the rightful heir to the throne. Yet, a sudden obstacle emerged in the form of the newly appointed chief priest, draped in ceremonial attire and bearing an air of mystic authority. "The gods have not spoken," the chief priest proclaimed, his eyes reflecting an unwavering conviction. When questioned about Chike's audacious claim, he cryptically revealed, "The gods declared Chike dead in 10 market days." The emergency meeting beneath the ancient baobab tree had concluded with a sense of apprehension lingering in the air. While the elders acknowledged Emeka's qualifications, they refrained from electing him as the rightful heir to the throne, questioning the divine sense of the new chief priest's declaration. Instead, they postponed the coronation until the spiritual discord could be resolved. At the chief priest's modest residence, Emeka and the chief priest sat down for a meal, the atmosphere tense with unspoken uncertainties. Emeka, determined to bridge the gap between man and spirit, began the conversation with a respectful tone. "Chief priest, I understand the importance of divine guidance, but the kingdom is at a crossroads. We need a leader," Emeka expressed, his eyes reflecting sincerity. The chief priest, alternating between sweet platitudes and veiled disdain, responded, "Emeka, my son, the God's will is not to be rushed. I have reservations, but your assurances carry some weight. Nevertheless, the spirits move in mysterious ways, and we must tread carefully." As they shared the meal, Emeka delicately navigated the conversation, acknowledging the intricacies of tradition and spirituality. In the recesses of the chief priest's mind, however, a private thought echoed, a boastful whisper of his own aspirations. "In this delicate dance between man and spirit, I am the true orchestrator, the elected king of both realms," he mused, concealing his self-proclaimed sovereignty behind a mask of diplomatic charm. The fate of the kingdom, unbeknownst to Emeka, rested in the hands of a chief priest who harbored ambitions beyond the sacred ceremony at hand. In the quiet confines of Emeka's obi, Ada confronted Emeka, her eyes ablaze with a mix of anger and betrayal. "Emeka, you've all but usurped my rightful throne as the eldest. What treachery is this?" She had been waiting for him at his obi. She had heard about the meeting of the stakeholders that had taken place. She was mad about not being invited. Emeka, caught off guard by Ada's direct accusation, stammered, attempting to justify his actions. "Ada, the elders believe me taking the throne is for the best. I have to do what I have to for the stability of the kingdom." Ada's patience wore thin, and a sinister edge crept into her voice. "Stability, you say? Do not underestimate the lengths I will go to reclaim what is rightfully mine. Your deceit will not go unanswered." As the confrontation intensified, a sudden and malevolent force seemed to seize Emeka. His eyes widened in shock and pain as an unseen presence coiled around him. Ada, her threat hanging in the air, watched in horror as a metallic centipede drilled out from Emeka's chest, leaving him lifeless on the floor. The room plunged into darkness, and Ada found herself at the epicenter of a nightmarish scenario. Her accusations had been met with an unimaginable and supernatural consequence. The village, now confronted with an unexplainable tragedy, had Ada at its center. The commotion attracted Emeka's personal guards, loyal sentinels sworn to protect their leader. Bursting into the obi, they were met with the harrowing sight of Emeka's lifeless body and Ada standing over him. The guards apprehended Ada with a swift and forceful response. Her protests and explanations fell on deaf ears as she was led away. As the elders gathered to deliberate the incident involving Ada, a hushed tension hung in the air. The recent events had cast a pall of uncertainty over the village, and the fate of both Ada and the kingdom rested in the hands of the deliberating council. However, just as the elders began to seat themselves, a messenger burst into the meeting space, his breathless urgency mirrored in the wide-eyed terror etched across his face. "Chike is at the gates," the messenger exclaimed, panic lacing his words. "The village is surrounded, and he's not here for discussions. He demands the heads of the elders." A collective gasp swept through the room as the gravity of the situation sank in. The village, already grappling with the unexplained death of Emeka and Ada's arrest, now faced an immediate and unforeseen threat. Chike, the once estranged brother, had arrived with a vengeance, bypassing the formalities of negotiation and diplomacy. Panic ensued as the elders, gripped by the sudden and perilous turn of events, exchanged fearful glances. Chike's unexpected and rapid approach defied all previous reports that had placed him weeks away. The village, caught off guard and vulnerable, now stood at the precipice of a crisis that threatened to plunge it into chaos.